It's so much. It's literally so much. What's up, pals? So today I wanted to show you guys some of my progress so far with my dragon carved armor build from Skyrim. It is a mod, it's mod build, it's fucking beautiful, so intricate. I've been working really hard on it. I'd hope to get it finished for GalaxyCon next week. However, I don't think it will be, just because I don't want to rush the process and make any mistakes. This is so far some of the cleanest armor I have ever built, and I'm really, really proud of it. So I sped up the whole process of me, well, the parts I recorded of me working on it, and I'm going to show you guys that today. So first I'm going to show you where we're at so far, and then we'll get into it. Here is the armor as of right now. So it's primed with like a Walmart gray primer, just the cheapest I can get. The reason I prime, so I do 2 layers of wood glue, and then I prime to see if there are any like gaps or holes that need to be filled, any imperfections I'd like to fix. The primer just allows me to see that so much better, especially because I was using several different colors of foam to build these because I kept running out. And so that allows me to see any little areas that need to be fixed. And then after this, I will wood glue them twice, again, 2 or 3 times, and then I'll prime them again before we start painting and weathering. This is about 50% of the total armor, so I still have all the back and legs to make. This is part of the abs. It attaches to this chest piece right here. These are the bracers. They have zippers on the back for ease of putting them on. This is the upper arm armor. This is part of the back piece. These are the hips, and that connects to the abs and the chest on the front. So I am super fucking pumped about this armor. I have lots more of these to add now. It's probably the cleanest set I have ever made. It's taking so much time because it's so wildly intricate. Now I'll show you guys how I made the things. This is my first time putting zippers in bracers, and I'm just so excited about how easy it's going to be to take them on and off and how clean it looks. For my armor, I used 6mm for the base pieces and then 2mm foam for the detail pieces that you're seeing right here that laid on top of the 6mm. And also I made them big enough to wrap around to make some really smooth edges that I wouldn't have to Dremel. I've mentioned before that I'm just not a fan of Plasti Dip. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I've never been able to get it to self-level, especially just never the same way I'm able to get wood glue to self-level. So I typically cover all of my armor with, in total, like 4 to 8 layers, depending on the pieces of wood glue. Not only does it fill any small gaps and seams you may have, but it's just so smooth and clean looking. I just absolutely love it. Also, with several layers of wood glue, your armor becomes like almost indestructible. Some of you may have seen my hair out build. If not, go check it out on my Instagram. I think there's a music video on here as well. That armor could probably be run over by a car. Not really, but legitimately, even the spikes and the horns on it are rock hard. It's just nice when traveling or even walking around at a convention when it's congested to not worry about pieces of my costume breaking off or falling apart, because that is heartbreaking. When attaching this armor to the bodysuit that will be underneath, I'll likely use a combination of snaps and Velcro. I'm a super fan of Velcro, not so much a fan of snaps. I love how easy and clean they are, but man, those snap guns, shout out to anybody who's ever gotten one that worked 100% of the time, because my success rate is like 10% at best. So I'll be contact cementing snaps to the foam pieces and then fighting my snap gun to get them into the bodysuit. Freehand drew the designs from the concept art onto my 2mm foam and used a crazy sharp blade to cut them out. It wasn't super important to me that the lines be perfect and all symmetrical, simply because if you take a look at the design itself, like much Skyrim Armor, you know, it's made in Elder Scrolls world, so it isn't perfect. And I think that's part of the beauty of Skyrim builds, is that they look like they're not computer made, like real people could have made them with real tools that are available to them in-game. So some of the lines are kind of wonky on the final look, but I think it looks really cool. I'm very happy with how this build is coming out. Those lines along the edge are sort of like my seam allowance. That tells me where the piece is going to sit inside of the design, because it's going to be kind of flimsy, and then where I'm folding over. In my opinion, contact cement is the most superior way to glue your armor, and even fabric in some cases. I've learned over the years that it's important to let it sit and dry for a little bit. Kind of the longer you can leave it, the quicker it's gonna adhere. However, for this build, I mean, obviously this is super sped up, but I tried not to leave it too super long because I knew that those designs were gonna kind of shift and move, and I wanted them to be as center as possible. So I attached it while they were still a little bit wet, just so I would be able to lift the pieces up and move them when needed. The edges of the armors on the concept design just look so clean, and anytime I can avoid drubbling, I will. So I choose to fold over the 2mm foam to give it just that really clean look around the edges. However, I want to clean up the back because I do intend to compete in this armor, and so I have a couple of different ideas of how I'm going to do that. One is to back it with some sort of velvet, actually, so that it's really comfortable on the parts that will touch my skin. And another idea is to take like silicone caulking that we use for filling and smooth out where it's folded over and, you know, is lifted from the 6mm so that it just really smooths in nicely, and then cover that in wood glue inside as well, so it's really clean in there. But right now I'm just worried about getting this stuff built. I'm gonna spare you guys a million hours of me doing exactly this, just cutting out the designs and drawing them right here, because literally it took so long. However, I did find it really satisfying just to kind of sit and draw and cut. But I have hours and hours of footage of just this. Like, I was in the zone and didn't even realize how long I had been doing it and recording. Props to me for breaking the tips of 3 knives but not cutting myself once. Aw, yeah. Once I got each piece sort of assembled, I began putting it together. So these are the hip pieces. First, I just used pins to make sure everything fit right and looked good where I would want it. And then I took content cement and just sort of slid some between the layers to get the first glue, like get it in place. And then afterwards, I took the pins out and glued more before heating all of the pieces together. You can also heat them separately if you want to. I prefer to heat them all together just because then I get a really good idea of how they're gonna fit. If you would like to see in-depth written progress vlogs, I do have those on the extra squad tier of my Patreon. Everybody who joins this month and next month will get their name inside of the armor for any tier, and of course there's all kinds of goodies and stuff. So thank you to everybody, all my patrons and OnlyFans who have been supporting my builds so far. Thank you for watching this video. I'll have more clips from building this armor as I go. I'll keep recording it, and I am recording the process of making Jester and also my Princess Peach original design. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. We are so close to partnership. So if you haven't watched all of my previous videos, please do. There's me just talking about random shit. There's build, there's cosplay, music videos, that's the word. More behind the scenes, all of the stuff. If there's any videos you'd like to see me do, please let me know. Recently, it was requested that I talk about the process of judging at conventions and what I think could be done better and how tough I think it is for judges. That's not something I'm comfortable talking about right now just because there's something going on in our community and I don't think it's my place to really discuss that stuff at this time. So I'm gonna leave space for that, and later on I will do a contest judging video completely not related to what's going on right now, because again, I just don't think it's my place to speak on that. I wasn't there. I support the community and how they feel, and that is all I'm gonna say about that. If you would like to be judged by me, I am a cosplay guest judge at GalaxyCon Raleigh next week, so I have to go and get to work on cosplay because yikes, I am so behind. But love you guys so much and have the best day. Bye.